Hello and welcome to Coffee Chat with me, Jody Misiak. Today we are talking about something so important. So grab your coffee or tea and come chat with me. Now, before we actually dive into the good stuff, I want to share just a minute, just take a second to just share my gratitude and my thanks for you being patient while I figure out a new way to come for coffee chat, my new formula, not formula, but how I deliver coffee chat. The system really, because I used to go live on Facebook and I've decided to get away from that. And then I was trying other things and I didn't love how it was working. Now, once I believe it's 50 subscribers on YouTube, then I can go live through this system that I'm using today, but show up live on YouTube. So that's my goal. But for now, I need to show up in this community here in my meeting room, my Jody meeting room, and it can be a cute little thing. We can have conversations still. We can do all the things. Now, that being said, what I'm going to do is treat this like it would be streaming live on any other platform. So we're not going to share screens or share the audience. To just make sure everybody feels safe in this environment, you can share your questions in the chat. But the thing is, you don't have to worry about looking great on camera or wherever you're at. It's all good. I have it all set up that everything should be muted and cameras off when you join. So for anybody that watches this later, know that you can come join us I believe it's the third Thursday of every month. Now, sometimes occasionally, like today, it's landing on the second Thursday just because I'm going to take some time off to be with my kiddos over the holiday season. So I'm shifting things a little bit just to make sure that I am not overwhelmed when I show up for you. And so that's where we're at. So just know that you can catch us every month, usually the third Thursday of the month at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And that's 2 p.m. Eastern time. Now, if you live in a different time zone, please just Google that and see where you're at. And because there's so many different time zones, I can't share them all, or else that would be the whole episode, the whole chat. So get cozy because this conversation, like I said, is so important. And as I'm preparing for this, my life is like, yes, Jody, yes, you do need to be taking care of you. So, what are we talking about? Taking care of you this holiday season. Oh my goodness, so important. Now, I say this, and I say this with so much love. I fall into this too, where I forget. This is the most wonderful season of all until it's not. I was actually just thinking about it today as I'm preparing everything. And like, I take some time off when my kids are home on winter break, but not everybody has that luxury. And I shift my schedules around to make room for the holiday festive fun. But the problem is, not everybody can. So we try to jam in all this festive fun into our normal lives. And you know what the first thing that goes? Taking care of you. Because I can understand it's usually the first thing to go in general, and half the time we're not doing it in the first place. So today, this is a loving, gentle reminder to take care of you this holiday season. This is all about love, no guilt, no shame, no blame, just full of love. And I'm going to share things that have worked for me, things that have not. I'm human, I make mistakes. There's been so many holidays that at the end of it all, I'm exhausted and I need a vacation from the holidays. So, I'm going to share with you some of the things that have helped me throughout the years so I'm not this festive monster at the end where I'm just like losing it on everybody because I've had enough. I'm also coming from a place where I see myself as an introvert. I don't love labels, but that's to make it easy and not have to explain everything. I need a lot of me time. And when I'm in a large group of people, I need extra time to unwind. I've had so many different things where I've stayed up late just to decompress. And then the next day, I have a social hangover. So if you're like me, I have other little things that you can take away from this as well. And if you love being social, this is your most awesome time of year, I feel, because I don't know about you, but my calendar is more social than it has been. And looking back, I'm kind of grateful that I had a very, very quiet November where I just kind of took a step back and just with my family and myself for the most part and didn't really be social because now I'm in full swing and I'm like, oh my goodness. Now, that being said, I've already stopped, like, sorry, I've already started to say no to things. I had a group of women that I love hanging out with, and they were organizing something. I looked at that week and I'm like, no, I can't fit any more into this week. Is it packed? Is every day full? No. It's spaced out. Now there's two events back to back. It's my daughter's birthday next week. So things are full in December. So I look at that. And then we have a fun family tradition with a group of friends that we do every year too. So that's happening. And then it's like, oh my goodness, no. By Friday, I want to be curled up on the couch with my kids and really just leaning and embracing into the holiday break or winter break, whatever you want to call it, and really just relax and unwind. So I know how much energy I can give out socially, events, and all those things. I'm getting a really good understanding of what I need. That took time. So today, like I said, I'm going to share some cool things, what works, what doesn't. And then you have to just be gentle on yourself too and adjust. So try something this year. And if it works, awesome. Remember it for next year. If it doesn't work, that is when we learn and adjust. Now, before I forget, I actually want to open this book. I read this every day in during my yoga practice, and it is by Dr. Wayne Dyer, and it's "You Are What You Think," and it breaks it down every day into a little awesome. The lighting is really not great today, so I apologize. I'll read it to you, so don't worry about reading it. It has little tidbits. Some are longer, some are shorter. Today's is nice and short, but for instance, this one's a little longer. All right. So today's, and I read it today going, oh my goodness, this is needed to be shared today. It was so on point. If you slip, it doesn't mean that you're less valuable. It simply means you have something to learn from slipping. And I think that is perfect. So we can set intentions for this holiday season. We can have ideas of things that we want to do for ourselves. But if you slip and you do something that you didn't plan on doing, or maybe you got a little frustrated because you're burnt out and your energy's drained and you just weren't taking care of yourself to the level you needed, that's okay. Pause, reflect, learn something from it, and then lovingly move forward again. So, I want to start off with something that I've been sharing with my kids the past week. Past week I've been saying it. This whole week. Now, I say it to them for them to remember, like, go to bed, things like that. But I'm also saying it for myself. So what am I saying? It's a marathon, not a sprint. At least in our household, with how we celebrate the holidays. It literally is a month long of things. Last weekend, we had the Festival of Lights here, and that really kicks off this beautiful season with lights and a parade and things like that. The weekend before, we had a neighborhood get together with a campfire. So it's starting. It is a marathon, not a sprint, at least like I said here. Now, some people might just celebrate for the handful of days. But if you're like me and you have kids, there's different things going on. It may be a marathon for you, like it is here. So, like I said, I share this with my kids all the time, but I'm also saying it for myself to remind myself, like, Jody, slow down. You can take this one day at a time. You don't have to do it all the time. You don't do all the things. And we're going to dive right into all that. So just keep this in mind this holiday season, that it is a marathon, not a sprint. Then again, though, unless you just celebrate the couple days, then good on you for fitting it into a couple days. And then it is the sprint. And it's probably easy to recover from. So I want to share too, as I'm doing this, and I said life reminded me that this is so important. My oldest is at home right now, upstairs, actually just above me in my office, like up in their room, because they're not feeling good. Because it's go, go, go season, and there's cold flu season, all the things. So it is really important on many levels to take care of you this season. And I'm reminded of that as well. So I found it kind of just the universe reminding me that's like, yes, yes, this is important, even for you, Jody. So it's important for me too. So I share this with, again, so much love because there's been so many times. So let's get into this because I know how important your time is any day of the week, any month of the year. And this month is even more so. So I really want to try not to get off topic too much, but share with you what I wanted to share with you today. So the first thing, I'm going to share 3 things to really focus on this winter season. You can take this anywhere, any holiday, summer holidays. I even found when I went on vacation that I can get exhausted from the vacation because I'm the person that I live in the moment. I'm so there that I actually forget sometimes how much energy I'm putting out. So it's really important to check in with yourself. Yeah. And that's where it comes into finding or creating an anchor. So, what does that look like? For me, I bookend my days. So, I have a morning routine and I have an evening routine. Now, not every day is the same. Not every day is in quotations perfect. It's pretty simple sometimes. And it just means that I make sure that at the beginning of my day, even if it's only 5 minutes, that I'm taking time for me, that I'm not rushing out the door to my office to do something. And even today, when I was like, oh my goodness, I got to get going, I took time for me first. I'm like thinking to myself, well, one, I'm talking about taking care of you this holiday season. If I show up before I take care of me, that's not cool, right? So I took 5 minutes just for me, and it grounded me so much better than if I would have just rushed through here. And everything still worked out. I had a little bit of technical things with my mic, but I came early enough. I was centered enough to figure it out. So sometimes just taking that 5 minutes, check in with yourself. So mine is usually my yoga practice. And that's what I did today. It was a shorter yoga practice than I normally do. And every other day I do strength training and I have a rebound, like a little trampoline in my office. So I do rebounding as well for cardio. So, and it gets my lymph nodes awesome. So that's every other day. Now that sounds complicated, but today I just did my yoga practice. So that was, 5 minute little stretch. And then I sat here before and just had a little calm moment. And then later on, I will get on to my yoga mat again, maybe or not. But I started my day centered. And again, every day looks different. And then at night, too, it's just taking some time, even 5 minutes again. Now, you don't have to have your anchor at the beginning or the end. I find I really like that, the bookmarks, to really touch base with myself in the morning, center myself, ground myself, and then in the evening to like unwind and just be. And my unwinding usually starts right after supper, I'm gonna be honest. Not always. Last night was a little later. I actually worked in my office later and things like that. But normally it's right after supper. And I have a tea with my son who loves tea. And we have a nice little herbal tea in the evening. And I cuddle my kids most nights. But other nights I'm out the door line dancing with my husband or doing other things. And then my evening starts later for myself. So it really just really depends on your day, your life. And it's just finding those 5-10 minutes or more if you like. But an anchor can be on your lunch break, just taking some time by yourself in your car, in the washroom even. I know when I was working in a warehouse, I would take time, just walk to the bathroom. Did I have to go? No, but I just go and be in that stall by myself for 5 minutes and just be. At that moment, I didn't even know what I was doing. I just knew I needed a break from the world out in the warehouse, away from people. I just needed to take a 5-minute break. So just finding those anchors. And I do recommend to keep it consistent whenever possible. Now, your schedule might not allow for that, but if you can't tie it to a time, try to tie it to an event of your day. So, example, you could take a moment in the morning and check in with yourself when you're brushing your teeth, or any other event that you're doing throughout your day that you do every day. That's why I mentioned lunch hour. So, if you can get away and have a quick check in with yourself, you can listen to something motivating and positive, things like that, that can really help you anchor yourself to your day, to really just check in and recenter yourself. I hope that makes sense. So that's the first thing. Find or create an anchor. And like I said, it doesn't have to be big, long, or fancy. It just has to help you reconnect with you. Now, the next one, I've already kind of touched upon it a little bit, is simplify. So this time of year can be busier. We have more things going on. So we don't have to eliminate taking care of ourselves completely. It might just be simplifying what we do. So today, like I said, my yoga practice was shorter, or else I would have been like hanging out with you guys. So it's really important to figure out, like, okay, I want to take care of me, but I also want to do this other thing. So it's simplifying. Now, I want to talk a little bit more about something else that needs to be simplified sometimes. It's the holiday season. We can go bananas about things, including myself. And I want to share something with you that's super real and honest here. Last year, we did multiple advent calendars. I'm talking our normal family one that's wooden, and I usually buy some kind of chocolates or different things. One year I think we did jewelry, so each day had a bead for each person, and we created a necklace or a bracelet out of all the beads. And so each one, yeah, had four for our family members. And so I think it was chocolate last year for my two kids. It only holds about a room for two chocolates. And then on top of that, on our normal calendar, I decided it'd be fun to give the kids Lego calendars so they every day they could build a little Lego thing. And then I had an advent calendar for my husband. And then I got him one, and that was one of those Saving Santa's escape puzzles that you do a different puzzle every day and put it into your phone and see if you got it right and things like that. Honestly, that one we kind of stopped mid-month just because we couldn't fit it in. Now, this year, my daughter goes to me and goes, Mom, can we just do one advent calendar this year? Last year was kind of overwhelming and a little too much. Perfect. Sometimes we want to do more because either we just love all the ideas and we're like, we want to do it all. Sometimes we're just like, it just seems fun in the moment when we make the plan. Maybe December 1st is pretty chill. And we're like, yeah, let's do it all. And sometimes, we just get excited about something and overdo it, whatever it is. Sometimes simplifying things is better. Now my kids love coming home. They enjoy their chocolate after school. We all sit around in the living room doing it together, even though they're the only ones enjoying the chocolate. And they thank me every day. And it's just this beautiful moment of just time together, another anchor as a family. But I simplified. So if you are like me and love to do it all, but you feel overwhelmed, or at the end of the winter season, or holiday season, you're overwhelmed and exhausted, this is my time to tell you, just try, if you can, to simplify even one thing this year. I know it can be hard because I love celebrating everything. I celebrate every holiday just because life is more fun when you're celebrating and enjoying the days. Like, I can celebrate any day and it doesn't have to have a holiday. Today is a Monday. I love Mondays. Like, I just celebrate it all. However, that can lead to some messiness when I'm overdoing it, and then I forget to take care of myself, and then I drain my energy in ways, and then, I don't feel like myself over the holidays. So, one of my biggest intentions for this season is showing up and doing things for others and really celebrating the holiday season, but at the same time remembering that it is a marathon and not a sprint, and that I need to take care of myself through this whole process. And everybody else in my life, also reminding them that sleep is important. Taking care of ourselves is important on so many different levels. Okay. So simplify. Today, look at your life and see if there's something you can simplify. This can be something over the holiday season, or it could even be anything in your life. Maybe, your schedule's just busting at the seams on a normal basis. I know a lot of people like that. Ours were like, we were included. We decided last year to simplify our calendar and do less running around after school. And I really think we've all benefited from it. Okay. Now everybody like has their own way of living and doing things. So you got to find what works for you as well. Now, the third one, perfection is overrated, and expectations prevent us from missing out on the magical moments that are right in front of us right now happening. So let me explain. Let me go deeper. I don't know about you, but for me, I sometimes play out how something's going to play out, like in my head ahead of time. It can be great. It also helps me kind of look at things so I can set myself up for things like when we're going into a big crowd. It kind of helps me embrace for impact because social situations can be overwhelming at times, but it's just something I do naturally. So I just look at and play it out. But then other times I visualizing how Christmas morning is going to play out, the calm, the peace, the love. That doesn't always go that way, does it? Somebody's in a bad mood. Somebody slept in. We slept in once because one year I think we didn't go to bed till 4 in the morning because we had an event the other day or the day before. Talk about not being set up properly. Learning, right? I slid, I slipped, I slide. I did not love that because then we slept till probably 11 or 11 o'clock the next morning. Well, then Christmas just felt really off. So again, learn from other moments in life. But you imagine these perfect, beautiful moments that haven't happened yet, but you can't account for everything because most of the time they're evolving, like they're with other people. And you don't know if somebody's gonna be hungry, tired, cranky, all the things. You have no idea. So it's not about like really focus on perfection, but just taking time for you so you're centered and grounded. So when things can go sideways, because they do sometimes, or you're ready for it and you can lovingly experience that moment in front of you. Also, expectations. Actually, that's what I was really talking about. So, perfection, though, is like trying to get everything perfect, the table looking perfect, the house looking perfect. I like to embrace the imperfection. Okay, we have two cats. I have two kids. The house, oh my goodness, furry things. The one thing my kids and husband know though is I don't like clutter. So we make sure that our living area is decluttered every day, or at least if our week is busy, every week at the end of the week, we just kind of pick up the clutter and make sure everything goes where it needs to go. That's one thing I just feel overwhelmed about is clutter. So it's knowing that about myself. But having these ideas that everything has to go perfectly. Because when they don't, then we get overwhelmed and we feel like we didn't succeed. So it's letting go. So it's setting an intention, doing what you can, and then letting everything else go. It's really understanding what you can control and what you can't. And then let's get back to expectations. And in that moment, so what I was sharing with is having this idea of this perfect Christmas morning. And this has been happening to me over the weekends. It's like, I just want this peaceful, calm weekend. And it hasn't been happening. And then I really feel off because I had this idea in my head, right? Expectations. And we can have these expectations of others in our lives, gifts that we might receive, or, all these things can happen. And it's really important to know where your expectations are coming from and then kind of take a step back. Because, like I said, when we have expectations, it can really, we're expecting something. Yet, what's in front of us is this beautiful, magical moment that we might never have been able to dream of in our wildest dreams. So it's really taking this moment to realize, like, when do you let expectations take you away from these beautiful moments right in front of you? So just in a loving way, just realize that expectations can kind of keep us stuck. We can expect things of others. Maybe you think that, your kids are going to help you with Christmas supper and they don't. And it's having these moments, having these conversations beforehand, though. I also find that people have expectations and then they don't share those expectations with you. So it's this hot mess, like seriously hot mess. So I just really hope this helps. Expectations, it's really about letting them go if you can. Like, okay, I'm expecting this. Do what you can to set it up for success. And then it's letting go and letting life flow. So I really hope that helps. So again, let's go recap everything. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Find and create an anchor. So somewhere in your day, create that time to just connect with yourself. That might be the only self-care you have all week. Hopefully you can have more than that throughout on different times, but let's just make sure you create an anchor to connect with yourself on a daily basis, whatever that means for you. Simplify. Keep it simple. You don't need to have a million advent calendars. You can say no. Oh, the other thing I want to mention is you can say no to events, like I was mentioning. So simplify your calendar when you can. Say yes to the things that you know you really love and want to do, but then say no to things or look at your calendar and be like, I'm packed. It's okay to say, no, I have other plans. I have other plans too. I have plans to be on my couch and watching a Christmas movie with my children instead of going out the night that everybody else wanted to go out. My calendar, my dance card was full. So it's okay to say no when your calendar is full. And that doesn't mean that every day or every moment has to be accounted for. It just means you can look at your calendar and realize that, okay, it's getting too full, that I don't have enough room for me anymore. So you can stop saying yes to things. Also, if you find that you do say yes till everything is full up, like really, really full up, start adding in your calendar pockets of time just for you. Honestly, I put in my calendar wrapping Christmas gifts. I put all the things in so I know where my schedule is, like where it's at and what I'm packing into every day. So I've actually embraced online calendars this year. Actually, the beginning, like somewhere no, it was this year. Earlier this year, I've really embraced. I've always done paper and I still do paper because I love writing things down. But this year I've actually done more because then I can add tasks in there. So I can really see, oh, this is where my energy is going out. I need to move things around. And it's actually been really, really good for me. It might not work for you, but it's worked really well for me is putting it all. And then I collaborate on my phone, different calendars. So my husband will only see family stuff on our family calendar, but I also have a work calendar, my own personal calendar that I all see together on my phone. And then this way it actually started so my husband knew what was going on. So when he books appointments for the kids, it doesn't overlap with something else. And then I was like, oh, maybe I should do this for me. And it all just kind of happened. So it's really been really good. And you can add tasks and stuff. And I just use Google Calendar. because it's tied to my emails and everything like that. So, anyways, getting off topic a little bit, but it's really important to see and know your calendar so you can say yes or no to things. So that's again, so simplify. Keep it simple. And perfection is overrated. Nothing has to be perfect. Our kids will remember those little magical pockets that we might not have even did anything to create. It might have just happened magically. I'm thinking back to some of my best weekends where we had no plans and it just naturally flowed. We played board games, or we went for a hike. And when I'm not trying to make things perfect or try and push and shove these ideas onto other people or into my life in general, things just flow beautifully. So sometimes just allowing life to flow around us. And then trying to let go of expectations about, other people and just the season in general, and just trying to let go of whatever that is. And maybe your expectations of taking care of yourself are really high right now too. Allow that to kind of go lower too, if that's causing stress. Now, I want to add one little thing that I didn't share here, and I'm looking at the time, so I'm chatting a lot again, and no messages. So I'm just going to keep going. So, the one last thing I want to share, and this is just coming from such a place of love, and I was just thinking about it as I was getting ready for this chat, is one of my biggest things I've taken away from this holiday, the past few years, is making sure you get enough sleep. So this whole month, again, marathon, not a sprint. Take care of you. Eat healthy, amazing foods. Now, I know for me, I'm going out a lot more to restaurants and things, drinking a little bit more during the week than I normally do. I usually keep my wine drinking to the weekends, but it's going to happen. It's going to be in the middle too. So just being mindful of that and having breaks where you allow yourself to eat really good healthy foods when you can. And for me, most importantly, not having too much sugar. So I say this with love because a few years ago, I discovered that I had candida overgrowth in my gut. We all have candida, it's just yeast in the gut. However, it was very, very, very abundant in my gut. And so anytime I ate sugar, I would have a reaction. And it affected my mood, my energy, my skin, everything. So I got to the point where I had such a rash. And there was one winter, I think it was 2 years ago, where I had thought I was good because I was on a candida diet and things like that, eliminating things. And I'm like, oh, it's the holidays. Let's eat cookies and things. It happens. We slide, we fall, we learn. And I could barely move my right arm because it was so inflamed. Because it's the arm it's my dominant arm. And it was just so inflamed from movement that I actually was signed up for a yoga teacher training in February, and it was January, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make it because I couldn't even do my yoga practice. Eventually, it all was good, but I just remembered as I'm thinking about what I was going to share with you today, I was thinking back to other holidays and what I felt like at the end, and I was like, I really want to share this with you. It doesn't mean eliminating sugar, but it's being really mindful of how much you indulge. Like I said, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So if you start celebrating like I do at the end of November, early December, and go all month long, that can be a lot on your body, your mind, your energy, all the things. So it's again having other anchors. So we talk about like me time anchor, like a connection anchor. It's also important to look at food as a place of love in your life as well. So I'm just sharing that with a lot of love because I've been there, and there's been so many Christmases that I get to Christmas Day or the day before Christmas and I can barely function. And a lot of that had to do with having sugar. Some of it might have been late nights, not taking care of myself, not eating really good, awesome, delicious foods to feed my body instead of depleted. And so it's just really important to be mindful of our body as a whole and our energy as well. So social energy and things like that. And I shared about having a social hangover. What actually works best for me that I've learned is first I shared about things that night with my husband because I was feeling it a lot. But then the next day I had to unpack my own feelings. I was packing other people's because I'm also very empathetic. So I take on a lot. And this one event, I wasn't really good with balancing it at the event. So I really had to shed it. That next day, I was like, "Oh my goodness, I'm so socially hungover." I didn't know what to do. So I actually leaned on tapping, and it really, really, really helped. So if you feel like you are socially hungover, that was one of the best things for me. Meditation's good, but I was at such a place that meditating wouldn't have helped because I had so much chatter in my brain and so many things going on that I wouldn't have been able to focus, and I don't really think it would have benefited me at that moment. First, I had to clear the chatter and really allow space first. So that was what tapping was. So I wanted to share that too, because I talked about that briefly about having a social hangover. So if you're like me, it's finding ways to kind of let that go, and also showering. Water is really cleansing if you're picking up a lot of vibes and things like that. So this time of year can be really tricky because you have lots of good foods, you have lots of sugary treats, emotions are running high, we're not sleeping as well. There's so many different things. So remember to take care of you this holiday season, big or small. Doesn't have to be fancy. It can just be 5 minutes. And actually, I just thought of something, and then I promise we'll wrap this up because it's a long one today. I just thought of something that Dr. Wayne Dyer wrote in one of his books. I don't remember which one because I listen to them so often. Is it might be The Power of Intention? What one was I listening to recently? Anyways, it's one of his books, but I'm going to share with what you. He mentions that he meditates. So what Dr. Wayne Dyer would do is while he was driving and he was at a red light, he'd meditate. So for a couple minutes. Now, I don't know how I feel about that because I don't like closing my eyes when I'm driving, even though I'm stopped. I kind of like to know what's going on around me. I don't know if it's kind of how I was taught about driving, be like visual, like really mindful of everybody around you and things like that. But it's something like that where you can have little mini breaks throughout your day. Maybe you're waiting for your coffee to brew and you can just take those couple minutes or the kettle. I also, we have a toaster. I love it because it's long enough to fit my sourdough bread. But what we don't love about it is that it takes forever. However, I've embraced this slow toaster. We've had it for over a year now, and I love it. I call it the meditative toaster. So if I'm not getting other things ready for my sandwich or my eggs or whatever I'm using it for, I will just stand there and take those minutes to be mindful. So mindful minutes, I call it the meditating toaster because I can just take time to just break. There's little pockets throughout our whole day where we're waiting for something. We can either choose to scroll social media, check emails, whatever, or we can take little pockets of time to just check in with ourselves. So just keep that in mind this holiday season as it gets jam packed with awesomeness and emotions and lots of awesome things out of our control. So thank you so much for being here. I apologize for the length. I really thought I was going to keep it short today, and I had so much to share. So before we go, I want to share two things that you can do for you this holiday season. And one is my live event. I haven't done a live event in a long time. It's been a long time. Possibly, I don't even know. Oh no, I've done one since I moved here onto the coast, but it's been a long time. Probably close to 5 years. 4 probably. But anyways, it's been a long time because I've had to find my energy again after healing my gut. Or I'm still working on healing the gut, but I've gotten to such a better place. So it's so much more manageable. So I am doing a live event. It's called the Self Love Gathering. So it's setting your intentions for 2026. So we'll start off with letting go of the things that we no longer want to carry into 2026. The things, the mistakes, the negative thoughts, anything you want to let go. People, and let that go. So we can make room for all the awesome things that are going to happen in 2026 and setting those intentions. So it's a gathering, it's a smaller gathering, so space is limited, and it's happening on December 30th at 3 p.m. Pacific time, and then that will be 6 o'clock Eastern time. And it's going to be 2 hours of really just connecting, and it won't be like this where it's just me on screen. This week I will open the floor for people that want to share, people that want to really get some advice or ask me anything. There'll be chat too in case people don't want to show their face. I know how that is because I would show up to events and I was like, no, I don't want to be here because I don't want to be on camera. I get it. Okay. You don't always have time to get camera feeling ready, or maybe you just don't feel like it. And that's okay. So I'll be on camera and I will show up for you, and we'll chat, we'll share, we'll set intentions with love. It will be all really grounded in self love. Then the second one, if you can't make it live, and if you can't make it live, but you're like, I want to be there, sign up. I will record it and I will share it after. And there's a workbook that goes with it, or an activity book. I love that word better, activity book, full of things. So I will be emailing that as well closer to the event. And if you can't make it live, that's okay. You can still get the recording. Now, if you want to ask me questions, then all you need to do is email me ahead of time. I will read them the day before the event just to make sure I'm ready for it. And so you have up to the 29th to email in your questions or anything you'd like to share with me. And it's going to be so much fun. I don't normally do this over the holidays. I usually completely get away from my office. But what I've learned over the years is that I get drained. I love my kids. I love spending time with them. But I also need just time for myself, time for giving in a different way than just my time as a mama. And so I really am so excited to connect with people. So there's that. Then if you're like new, not for me, I also have something that's self-love on demand. And it's literally step by step of what has helped me to really embrace who I am and love myself on such a deeper, deeper level. So it's step by step, self-paced course to really help you build a loving relationship with yourself, a much deeper loving relationship with yourself. So that's all on demand. You sign up and we have a beautiful private group that you can connect with other people taking the course, and it's just really beautiful. And it's all in bite-sized chunks, and you can just do it at your own pace throughout the whole year, in a day, in a month. I do recommend doing it for about 8 to 10 weeks if you can, so you can really let the lessons and the little moments settle. Because when we rush, I feel like you don't really get to take it in as much. But if you can do it 1 week at a time and really let that really sink in. And that's a really beautiful gift to give yourself this holiday season. So you can start January with so much love. So that's something to think about if that's something that you'd like to do. And if you love Coffee Chat, remember I'm here in this meeting room the third Thursday of the month, unless it's special event. So you check it out on my website at jodymisiak.com, and it's under Coffee Chat, and it'll let you know the dates. And it will have the link for the month's Coffee Chat as well. And then we have a Coffee Chat library that you can rewatch any of the Coffee Chats that have been happening over the years. I haven't done Coffee Chat for a couple of years, so I'm just new and back to it for the past couple months. So yeah, it's exciting. And again, I am so sorry that this is so long, but it was a good one. So thank you for taking care of you this holiday season. You already are doing it, just showing up. So thanks again. Take care. Enjoy your coffee or tea. And thanks for coming and chatting with me today. Take care and have a beautiful, beautiful, amazing holiday winter season. Until January, take care and have a beautiful, beautiful day. Cheers.